first thing first, we need an intervention. We need an intervention at Baiteze because something's going on there that, boy, I think you could even fix it, you know. Like if they need your services, obviously I can
don't do that. Don't do that.
I can drop your details in the comments below. They can give you a little
Don't do
DM.
Don't do that.
Listen,
listen, you gotta put respect on Baiteze's name. They're the holding national champions. Yeah, you gotta put respect on their name.
Come on, don't do that, bro. Come on, I always got respect.
No, listen. Obviously, I back myself. I can go into any club and go make a difference. Listen, if Chelsea need a guy, all they got to do is pick up the phone. But you know what I'm saying, it's what it is.
You get a nice payoff,
and it makes sure. I need to get that same agent that Chupa Moting's got. I need that guy. Trust me, I need Chupa Moting's agent or Graham Potter's agent.
Exactly. But yeah, we need an intervention, man, because what's going on at Baiteze, man? Like I'm seeing them getting slapped 9-2 by Manford. I'm seeing Pippin, Quincy, boy, asking if he's got Timberland boots on or ice skates, looking like Bambi on ice.
Ball coming from over the top, and that is a delightful touch. Now, Kone, he leaves Quincy skating, and he slides it into the back of the net.
The back four is unbelievably today. There ain't no two ways about it. Quincy, do you need new footwear? Have you got another pair of shoes, trainers, anything, Timberlands? Because what you're wearing now is he's sending you round like a merry-go-round.
I'm seeing like teammates falling out saying you're only here for the merch. I'm seeing that old Baiteze against new Baiteze. Old Baiteze are turning into podcasters and that's it. Like, what's going on, man? Like, it's not looking good.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Well, look, for starters, when they talk about old Baiteze and new Baiteze, what is it that they actually mean? Because I still think there's enough of the old squad in this squad that could still show quality. I think the problem is complacency. When you've been at the top, or certainly the top of the food chain in your area for such a long time, you know, you do need to shuffle the pack a bit. You need old faces to go out, or you certainly need new faces to come in and put pressure on the old faces. But then the question is, are the new guys that come in, are they good enough? And then obviously form comes into conversation. How many of their players that are available on a Sunday are playing on a Saturday? And that will obviously always affect the performances as well. So I think it's more than just a matter of they need an intervention. I think sometimes they need a new purpose. You need a new why. And there's no denying that they're in a bit of a rut. You know, they're struggling a bit. I mean, when you get beat 9-2, that's a pretty big deal. I don't think that's one that you can really ignore. If that happened to any other manager at any other club, step 1, step 2, step 3 doesn't really matter. I think you'll find they'll end up with that P45 in the post. So you know, and I'm not asking for that either for Billy. Listen, he's a good guy. Look, they're a good side. They're not going to stop being a good side overnight. That's not how football works. But sometimes these things they happen, and you know, sorry, apologies. You know, when these kinds of things take place, this is really just a bit of a bang on the door that you need to tell you changes are needed. And obviously that's what needs to take place now at Baiteze. But where the changes need to happen, well, I guess that's where the conversation lies.
Yeah, I mean, when your own players are saying like, bro, some certain players are not even good enough and you're only here for the merch, that's worrying.
It's clear there's people are not committed to Baiteze. They're committed to what they can take from Baiteze. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like I said, you told them that there's top goal, you see there's 20, 30 names. People we ain't even seen since last year that attended. You tell them there's boots, oh yeah, well, I'm coming, yeah, when can I get my boots, what sizes have you got? All of that shit, bro. When you bring kit, they come. When it's time to play and actually put the shirt on and play for the fucking brand, no one wants to do it.
Even more recently, they got beaten 2-1 as well. Match got abandoned due to fights breaking out and all the rest of it.
Plays it back to Quincy. Huh?
What's he doing?
What's going on? Seems to be an altercation right now. Both teams are going back and forth. Everyone's getting onto the pitch. It's just a whole mess. Mostly sees red.
You're losing, you're getting the game pulled off.
Remember what that camera showed? Little kids watch. Some of these kids know you by name. You don't realise that things like this don't look good.
You don't want to see that stuff. So yeah, like I'm seeing a lot of the old. When I say old Baiteze, like the Justin side of Baiteze, like before Billy came into play, like them, piping up now, and obviously some come into the defense. Respect to them because they're still all still connected and stuff. But yeah, it's not feeling like the same Baiteze of old. Before used to be vibes on the sideline, dancing, jokes, and all the rest of it. Now the look and feel is not even the same.
I actually don't disagree. There is a difference. Sorry, apologies. There is a different vibe now when they play. I think there's a noticeable difference in the quality in how they play and the way that they're playing. I think they look like they lack a bit of intensity and quality with that intensity. It's one thing for people to work hard, but they need to work hard and there needs to be quality attached with everything that they do. Again, I'm not belittling Baiteze, but they got beat 9-2 for a reason. You don't concede 9 goals because you're fantastic somewhere, and nobody should be coming off the pitch saying that they've done their job if the team got beat 9-2. Now, I think in terms of attitudes and quality, you have to look at yourself and go, okay, are we really where we need to be? We're talking about the holding, the current reigning national champions in this country. The national champions aren't supposed to get beat 9-2 by anybody at any point. But with that said, it might have just been a freak result. It can happen. You get a couple of players sent off, dodgy referees, bad decisions that go against you, more than capable. I'm more keen to see how their season now continues from here forwards. Are they going to drop more points? Are they going to lose more games? If I'm honest with you, it looks like they are going to lose a lot more games. If these kind of performances continue, it's always hard when players come out, and they have issues with each other publicly, but then also they start to say things like, "You're only here for the merch, X, Y, and Z," and the team's turning into a podcast and this kind of stuff. It's really hard to hear, and I think anybody that says those things, even if they are, even if they do have the best intentions in mind, they need to be dragged out and they need to go because you bring the organisation into disrepute and you just can't do that. I remember somebody asking a question in the comments section of one of the last videos that we've done last week or a couple of weeks, whatever it was. And I think they said, Baiteze, do we think Baiteze is going in the same direction as Lambeth and Takers? No, I don't think so. I think as an entity, I think they're too big. There's a lot of sponsorship involved. There's a lot of other deals and there's a lot of other things that kind of stop that really from taking place. But in terms of their brand, they are at risk of losing what they are in terms of their brand and their publicity and their pull. I think they are at risk of losing that because performances and results have to go hand in hand with everything that you are, and certainly everything that you've created as an institution. Much like SE Dons, much like Rising Ballers, etc., etc. You are those things. You get those things, the sponsorships and this, that, and the other. You get those things off the back of performances and results. It's not just about content. It's not just about vibe. You can't just turn up, lose every week, but there's a good vibe. That's not how it works. So yeah, I'd say, look, if this does continue, I wouldn't be shocked if end of the year, New Balance turn around and go, yeah, no, we're not going to do that, or there's a lot at stake. And you can't deny it. There is an awful lot at stake. The person that has to change it around is Billy. It is down to him. Any manager knows that. It's up to them. Everything that happens in the change room, everything that happens surrounding the team is up to them. I'm not in the know with regards to how much control he has over that. So I can't really say whether or not if he's allowed to make those decisions. But I would imagine any manager at any level would only want to be involved in a team where he's got control, creative control. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think complacency's come into it? Because, like you mentioned, like they've sponsored by New Balance and worked with big brands like Samsung and all the rest of it. Do you think complacency's come into it where people can just dip in, dip out, turn up, grab a shirt, play a couple of games, and that's it? Like, whereas the ones that the day one players, like they've kind of disappeared now. They've gone and done their own thing now. Like, you think it's a
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think if the players are honest with themselves, where their games, sorry, where their games that they missed that they could have played, where their games that they'd lost, where they probably shouldn't have gone out the night before. There's all sorts of behaviours that come with it now. Part of the problem in this day and age really is that most men are not men, in the sense that they're forgetting how to take accountability for the things that they do and don't do. A lot of players will point the finger somewhere else. That they'll say it's someone else's fault. It's this guy's fault because he actually in the moment of the game lost the ball or whatever it is. Rather than look at it and go, well, actually, I should have been there. I should have been on form. I should have been working hard. I should have been training hard. I should have been doing this, that, and the other. Once everybody takes accountability, look, football might be a team game, but it's a team game that's played by individuals. And each individual must take responsibility of the things that they do. They must take responsibility. Are they going to bed on time? Are they getting sufficient rest? Are they stretching? Are they warming up properly? Most games are won and lost in the warm-up. They're won and lost in the warm-up. And I think you'll find that, like I said, if the players can be honest with themselves, I'd like to think they'll turn around and go, yeah, it just hasn't been good enough. We need to get back to where we were. But that in itself is an individual process. So it's really difficult for Billy and the people that are helping him run the team. It's really difficult for them to try to get hold of these boys and say, right, what the fuck is going on? Can we sort this out, please? And I guess all you can do is ask the question. But when you're Baiteze, or if you're SE Dons, when you're Rising Ballers, Hatch Lane, when you are these clubs, all you have to do is send out a tweet, we need players. You watch and see how many hundreds of people hit your DMs. Everybody's replaceable. And for me, the message would be very, very clear. You are not safe. I don't give a fuck if you were here 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, 2 days ago. No one here is safe. We're playing for our shirts here. And I think a part of the problem is that there isn't enough quality in depth in a lot of these squads. I think a lot of the players don't. I'm not going to say they don't care. I think the brown envelope on a Saturday means a little bit more than the Sunday does. And they're quite happy to come in and out of the Sundays to get certain pros and cons I say not the cons, but to get certain benefits that come with playing at the glitz and glam end of Sunday League, which is where they are now at Baiteze and obviously several other clubs. Like I think I touched on this subject before with some of the players at Takers. They're all well and good coming and collecting loads of followers and this, that, and the other, and getting the social media following and trying to rebrand themselves and do certain businesses, but then they're disappearing from Takers afterwards. That's it, bang, gone. So you're using the club to take things from the club to get some sort of recognition and clout, and that's fine if you're going to be here because you'd be earning it then, but they're not really earning it. So for me, I think the people that are saying these things, they're turning into a podcast, they're turning into a joke, this, that, and the other. They are unfortunately at risk. And for me, I'll be saying to players, you are at risk. In fact, fuck at risk. See you later. Because there's 15, 20 other guys that will come in and do a better job than you. So I think that's where I am with it. It's unfortunate, obviously, that Baiteze have kind of led the way for a long time. I say led the way, they've co-led the way. But they are reigning national champions, and I would expect a hell of a lot better from them.